Welcome to the podcast, Let the Prophet Speak. This is Joel 4, the Navi Yoel, the Prophet Joel, chapter 4. This is Saul Weinreb, the host for your podcast. In the last podcast, we read a short chapter, chapter 3 of Yoel, and we read about how in the future times, in the days to come, the Spirit of God will fall and pour upon all human beings, whether Jew or Gentile, whether young or old, and all classes of society, whether slave or slave owner. But we also read that there will be justice, which will unfortunately also include punishment for those that do not bow before God, that remain arrogant. However, we ended on the note that whoever does call out on the name of God, whoever does not continue to worship the great works of his own hands, so to speak, whoever will be accepted in the future world, will live with the wonderful bounty that will exist in the days to come, and those that do not will unfortunately not. With that, we begin the fourth and final chapter of the book of the book of Yoel. So I'm going to start with verse 1. Hinei bayomim ha'hema. Because it will be in those days, uva'esahi, and in that time. And this is always a catchphrase for the future day, the day to come, the day of ultimate judgment, the day of ultimate justice. Asher oshiv et shivut Yehuda v'Yerushalayim, the day that I return and bring back the returnees of Judah and Jerusalem. The prophet Joel was clearly foretelling the time when the Jewish people would be exiled from their land, would be scattered amongst the nations, but one day I will bring them back. V'kibatzti es kol hagayim, and not only will I gather the Jewish people, but I will also bring all the nations of the world. V'horadtim, and I will bring them to El Emek Yehoshaphat, to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Yehoshaphat is not an actual place. It literally means the valley of God's judgment. So what I'm going to do then, God says, and we've had parallels to this in many of the other prophets, the time when those nations will be judged. Are they calling out in the name of God? Are they becoming humble before Him? Are they ready to turn from their ways, or are they going to rebel? Are they going to be arrogant? Are they going to believe in their own strength, try to fight against God, and so on? That's what the judgment, v'nishpateti imam, and I will judge with them sham, there in that valley of judgment, al ami, regarding how did they treat my nation. My nation was here to teach the message of peace, to teach my message. How did you treat them? What did you do? V'nachlasi, and my inheritance Yisrael, the people of Israel, asher pizru bagayim, that have been scattered amongst the nations, v'es artzi chileku, and you came, took my land, and you divided up amongst yourselves. How did you treat them? What did you do? And what did you do? V'alami yadu gorol. What did you do? Speaking to those nations that mistreated the people, you cast lots. I'll take this one, you'll take that one as a slave. Vayitnu hayeled bezona, and they treated these children of Israel as if they were property, and traded them away to pay for their prostitution. V'hayalda machru bayayin, and this young girl they sold away just to get some more wine, vayishtu, and drank. If that's how you treated them, then the punishments will come on that day. And what are you for me, O Tyre and Sidon, and Sidon? These are the cities of up in Lebanon. V'chol Gililot Piloshet, and all of the districts, these areas of Philistia, where the Philistines live. Hagemul atem mishalmim alai. Are you expecting me to pay you back for something that I have done? Or are you doing something for me? Like, what is this, some kind of deal that you expect something from me? I'll tell you, because you treated the people so terribly, because you treated others terribly, I am going to repay you with what you deserve. You didn't come for any good reason. You came to steal all of the gold and silver, to steal the property. Umachmadai hatovim, and my precious treasures, hevesem lehechalchem, you took them into your houses of worship. That's all you did, was take my precious things from my temple and put it in your places. Uvnei Yehuda, and the people of Judah, uvnei Yerushalayim, and the people of Jerusalem, mechartem levnei hayevonim, you sold them off to a faraway place, to the Greeks, leman harchikom me'al gvulam, in order to send them far away from their own country, far away from their own place, so that they will never come back, so that you can have it for yourself. Hineni me'iram min hamakom, I'm telling you, I'm going to wake them up from that place and bring them back here. Asher mechartem osem shama, the place that you sold them off to. V'ashivosi gemulchem b'roshchem, and you will get your just deserts. And what's going to happen is, if you continue in this behavior, if you continue in this way when you get to the valley of judgment, if this is how you're still acting, and you're still acting as if there's some kind of deal to be made between you and I, and you're still acting arrogant, and you're not sitting here and saying, I'm sorry, and you're not changing your ways, then in the end, your children, in other words, the people of your nations, will be sold away. They will be first put biad b'nei Yehuda, they will be placed underneath the people who they oppressed before, and they will be sold away to the people of Sheba. Shvayim could be translated two ways here. Some translated into captivity from the language of Shev, and some translated as to Sheba, the land of Sheba, to a Gairachak, to a faraway nation, which was then considered that was a far off place, because God is speaking now. And when God speaks, righteousness, justice comes. I just want to note that one of the things that scholars and commentaries have noted is that Yoel never mentions Assyria, which lends credence, and I think this seems the most reasonable to me, to that Joel being one of the earliest of what's called the writing prophets, who actually probably gave his prophecies before Assyria was a significant power, because Assyria certainly should have been thrown into the mix of the people that he criticizes in this chapter, and he doesn't. So I kind of lean towards that interpretation, and the words of and the idea that he was a son of Shemuel, of Samuel, and then he would have prophesied in the early days of the kingdom, kind of makes sense on that regard. Kir uzos bagoyim, let's look at verse 9. Call this out among the nations, proclaim this announcement, Kadshu milchama, get ready for war. You're going to have to fight. And what kind of fight are you going to have? Let's see. Ha'iru hagiborim, wake up all your powerful ones. Yigshu ya'alu, let them all come close. Let them all come up to the land of Israel. Let them all come up to Jerusalem. Let them get ready. Call on Shem Milchama, all of the soldiers, all of the warriors. Time to come. Kotu itechem lacharavot. Take your plowshares and make them into swords. This is the opposite of what is one of the most famous verses of turn your swords into plowshares of Isaiah. But here, Joel is talking about the judgment that comes, the suffering that's going to come, and he's telling the people, get ready for war. And again, what kind of war? Let's see in a minute. And turn the tools that you use to prune with, turn them into spears. Hachalosh, even the weak ones among you, Yomargi Borani, get yourself strong. Say, get up and be strong. Say, I am strong. Usu, vavo'u kol hagoyim misaviv. Wake yourselves up. Get yourselves up, and have all the nations from all around the world come, v'nikbatzu, gathered together, shama there, hanchat Adonai giborecha. Because God, bring together all of your strong ones, because this is where you're going to be judged. This is where you should bring your strength. Now, if the people listened and they brought their strength and they brought their swords and they brought their weapons and they brought it before God, clearly they didn't get the message. Clearly they're believing that somehow their swords are going to help them on this day of ultimate justice. Clearly they don't get the message, and if they're going to use those swords to fight God, obviously we know what the outcome of that is going to be. Those that don't listen, those to this word, this is almost a sarcastic instruction. Those that come before God and say, we don't want to bring our swords, we don't want to bring our weapons, we just want to be under you, God. Those are the ones who are going to be saved in this time of justice. Those are the ones that are going to survive and last. Ya'oru v'yalu agayim. May all of those nations wake up, just like God was going to wake up the Jewish people and bring them. All the nations should wake up and come El Enim Shafa to this valley of judgment. Kishamei shev lishpotes kol hagayim mitzaviv. I'm going to judge everyone. This is both good and bad. And God says, you have no more work to do. Shilchu magol, throw away your sickle. Kivoshal katzir. The crop is all done. We're done with the harvest. Bo'u redu kol kimalagat. Come on down, because the wine presses are done. They're finished. Teshivu hayikavim. It's full. The presses are full. The barrels are full. Kirabara asam. But because your wickedness is so bad, it's time for judgment. Don't come with excuses and say, oh, I got work to do. No, now is the time. Now is the time to answer for your deeds. Are you going to come with swords or not? Hamonim, multitudes upon multitudes, be'emek hacharutz, are going to come to the valley hacharutz, the one where the word charutz has many explanations. The Radak explains it as where the charutz of being cut and chopped down. It could also mean charutz from a language of decision. There's various ways to understand this. The Malbim looks at it as charutz, meaning a decision. So you can either look at it as valley of decision, ki karov yom Adonai, again be'emek hacharutz, because the day of God is coming in the valley of decision. I'm going to go with decision here, because it's not a matter of getting cut. Not everyone's getting cut. This is judgment. Some people win, some people lose. Some people get judged for good, some people get judged otherwise. Shemesh v'yareach kadaru, the sun and the moon are becoming darkened, v'chochavim asu nagham. The same image we had in the last chapter. When this punishment is coming, the skies darken, the heavenly bodies darken. V'adonai mitzion yishagin, God is going to cry out from Zion, and Yerushalayim yitain kalo. That's where the judgment is going to come. V'rashu shamayim v'aretz, and the heavens and the earth are going to shake. V'adonai machsel yamo. God will protect His nation. Those that survived, those that lasted, those that remained steady with Him. Uma'oz livnei Yisrael, He will be a source of strength for the people of Israel. Vidatem, and you, all of you people of the world, will know Ki ani Adonai Elohechem, that I am the Lord your God, Shochein b'Tzion Har Kachi. Vidatem, and you will know that I am the Lord your God, Shochein b'Tzion. I am the one who resides in Zion, my Har Kachi, my holy mountain. V'haitzah Yerushalayim Kodesh, Jerusalem will be holy. V'zorim, and those that are strange to me, those that are not with me, Lo Yavru Ba'od, will no longer go there. V'yabayamahu, and will be on that day, Yitu Harim Asis, the mountains will drip with wine, v'hagvos telach chalav, and the high places will flow with milk. V'chalafike Yehuda yelchomayim, and all of the waterways of Yehuda will be full of water, umayan, and springs. Mi beis Adonai yitzei, and the springs will leave from the house of God, v'hishka es nachal hashitim, and it will feed and give fluids to the nachal of Shittim, the nachal where the Shittim grow. Mitzrayim lishmama tiyeh, the nations that did not bow themselves to me, the ones that deserve to be punished. Egypt, Edom, and Edom, midbar shemama, will be made into a desolate wasteland. Tiyeh mechamas bnei Yehuda, because of what they stole from the people of Judah. Asher shafchu dam naki bi'artzam, because they spilled innocent blood in their lands. Punishments will come. V'Yehuda and Judah la'olam teshev, will live on forever. V'Yerushalayim l'davar dar, and Jerusalem will be the capital forever. V'nikesi damam, and I will treat as cleansed and innocent their blood. Lo nikesi, the blood of those that I did not treat innocently before. Those that had suffered so much throughout history will now be treated innocently. V'Adonai shochein b'Tzion, and God will from now on forever reside in Zion. Thank you so much for listening to and studying with us Joel, the book of Joel. Looking forward to studying the book of Amos, which is the next of the Trei Asar, the 12 prophets.